This video will show you the secrets of intention using reality transurfing. I think this video can totally transform the way you will go about your manifestation process so that you really create what you want in a very powerful way. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you and showing you how to use reality transurfing when it comes to intention and how to really apply attention in a more powerful way than you've ever used before. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that I think reality transurfing is one of the most powerful manifestation processes that you can possibly apply. I think that even more so than that, it helps have a very powerful philosophy, a way for seeing the world that can allow you to understand more of the energy dynamics, to understand how you must show up. I mean, have you ever felt like with the law of attraction that you feel like you desire something, but sometimes the more you desire it, the further away that it seems, or the more that you try, the harder it seems for you to manifest what you want? Well, at the same time, if you've ever made things very important for what you want to create in your life, you may have felt also resistant. You may wonder, how do I let go using the law of attraction? Well, reality transurfing helps meld all of these ideas together so that it's easy for you to manifest what you want, so that it's more of a natural, authentic process rather than the old school fake it till you make it type mentality. Now, at the same time, before I get into the video, I want to say that today is the second to last day that you can get into the Reality Transurfing Academy, which is a new academy that I've started. Well, it'll show you step-by-step processes for how to use reality transurfing. It also has personal coaching from me, helping you to get the results that you want. You'll get live Q&As, you'll get the ability to have all my additional courses and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna go ahead and link at the very top of the description box. You'll see a link, you can go there and you can check out that whole course, that whole program that will help you and give you the guidance to really create what you want and to really manifest what you want from a whole new paradigm. When you shift your consciousness for the way you think about it, everything in your life can change, and that's why I created the Reality Transurfing Academy. So go and click on that button if you want to check it out. And anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video, which is all about understanding how to use intention in a very powerful way beyond that of the way we're used to. So in reality transurfing, just to give it kind of a basis, it's understanding a couple key ideas. The first off is intention. The more you set intentions, the more you'll experience what you want in your life. The idea is that there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist. In the book, this is called the alternative space. And because it's written by a quantum physicist whose name is Vadim Zeland, he has it from that perspective of parallel realities, and it's something you may have heard me talk about before as well. Now, the idea is that because there's these infinite number of parallel realities that exist, when we focus and we intend for something to happen, what we do is we take out the outcome of that parallel reality and we bring it into this one that we're experiencing now. So what happens is we begin to move closer to that of what we want to experience, and most people simply don't have a vision for what they want to experience in their life. Because they don't have a vision or an intention, they don't experience the outcomes they want because they're in a way kind of like just moseying on through life. They're kind of like a leaf in the wind, going wherever the environment takes them or wherever the wind takes them. Well, this is where the power really begins, because when you know that you can set an intention is simply a will or a desire to have or be something. It's an outcome that you are intending for. I know intending, trying to think of a word outside of that, but it's a preferred outcome that you focus your direction in, that you direct your focus in. And as you do that, you start to bring more of that into your life experience. So I set intentions every day for so many different things, and this is you may have heard me talk before about the idea of segment intending, which I think is also one of the most powerful things you can do, which simply means that you set certain intentions for certain segments of your day. A segment is like right now, this is a segment of me making a video. That is a segment. Then I can go into many different parts of my day and maybe go to the gym, that's a segment. Maybe I go edit, that's a segment. And what you do is you set certain intentions for things to happen. And as you do that, then you start to really put more emphasis on the momentum of what you're experiencing in your life. And as you do that, that's when you really start to experience what you want, because momentum is where the power is. The more you focus, the more you develop momentum, and with that momentum, that will carry you to you experiencing what you want. So first off, intention is one of the most powerful things. There's a couple other ideas I'm going to share with you right now before I get too deep into the video, so that you get a general basis for everything that I'm explaining. Another part of it is understanding something called pendulums. Now, the idea of a pendulum is similar to that of understanding social conditioning. Now, it's the understanding that our thoughts have an electromagnetic type reality, even if we don't actually see them. So what this means is that anytime there's a mass consensus, there's a lot of people thinking about something, that creates the electromagnetic wave of that thought form. So maybe it's around a certain idea. There's pendulums around everything. There's pendulums around being certain political party. There's pendulums around sports teams. There's pendulums around even you get angry in traffic at a certain level is a pendulum. And what you can begin to do is realize that most of your thoughts that you think are your own are actually the thoughts of this social conditioning. They're the thoughts of the collective consciousness. And when you start to take your power back, you start to wake up from the dream that you may have been lost in. That's where a lot of people are in a way lost, is in that dream of them thinking that they're thinking their own thoughts, when really they're just thinking the thoughts, once again, of their environment, of the thoughts that were there prior. And you may feel triggered when you're in traffic and say, oh, this is my emotion, when in reality, it's also the emotion of a whole bunch of people that have thought the same thing. So how do you take your power back? Well, you take your power back by being aware of what you're thinking and then choosing your own thoughts, not being identified with the thoughts of the pendulum. If you find you're like, I'm watching the news and I'm getting really triggered, it may not really be just your thoughts that are making you feel triggered. It may be the thoughts of the pendulum that you are linking up with, therefore thinking the same thing. So the thing with this is that you cannot create using your own powerful intention and using what is called pure intention if you are being ran by pendulums. And the way you take your power back is by being aware of it. You start to live from an authentic place of who you are, and you start to take your power back and really live in an empowered way. That's something else that I teach in the Reality Transurfing Academy, is how to let go of caring what people think, how to let go of the social conditioning so that you're able to live from an authentic place. This is about letting go of who you think you should be and who the people around you think you should be, and how really you can let go of these layers, and that when you let go of these layers, you start to create from a higher paradigm. You start to create from a higher vibrational point of view. And when you transform your vibration, everything on the outside begins to change. So if you want to learn more about that, as I said, at the top of the description box, you'll see the link, and it'll show you more in that program how to let go of those layers so that you become the absolute best version of yourself. So let's talk more about intention when it comes to something called pure intention. Now, in the book, pure intention is understanding that pure intention must be void of something called excess potential. Now, let's think about it like this. If you were to set an intention right now to become a millionaire in 3 weeks, if you're not a millionaire already, maybe you set that intention, you say, in 3 weeks, I'm going to be a millionaire. And you make it very important because you really want it, and there's some reason behind you want to do it in the next 3 weeks. Well, here's the thing. Is that pure intention? For 99% of the people, the answer is no. However, is there pure intention if I were to say, hey, there's a quarter right over there, and you were like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get that quarter, or whatever it is, and you were to go pick it up? That is pure intention, because there's no excess meaning. You're not like, can I do it? I doubt whether I can do it or not. Am I worthy enough? You just naturally go over there and you pick it up. If you were to, in the book, they use the example of going over to that of a newspaper stand and getting a newspaper. Now, I know that's kind of irrelevant because we don't really do that anymore in society. We just have iPads and stuff like that. But if you were to do that, that'd be pure intention. You would be like, can I do it? Do I doubt if I can do it? There's no excess meaning there. It's a pure type transaction. So in the same way, what you can begin to realize is that you can start to see yourself as already able to get what you want from a natural point of view. Another part of reality transurfing, as I've talked about many times, is one of the most powerful ideas is decreasing importance. Anything you make very important, you then also put on a pedestal, you create resistance, and you separate yourself from your manifestation. That's why from this higher level paradigm, this higher level of manifestation, things happen more easily than ever because there's no excess meaning, no excess potential. Excess meaning and excess potential is created when you are too focused on something and you don't view yourself as worthy of it. And when that happens, metaphorically speaking, there are balancing factors that come into play that must balance that energy out. So when you become aware of that, you can then say, how can I more so see it as natural for me to create from this pure type place? And as you start to do that, guess what? Things happen in a much more powerful way because you're not giving things and you're not imbalancing the energy at all. So how do you do that? Well, what you do is you start to see it as your self-image for you to achieve what you want. If it's even creating a lot of money in your life, you see it as natural for you. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like, oh, I've never made this much of money before. It feels this way. It's like, it's natural for me to experience this. It's natural for me to get the results I want. How do you think about the whole manifestation process? That's another part of the program. Now, I'm not talking about, I mean program in general. Think about it like this as well. Your beliefs about the manifestation process is part of what is called outer intention. Now, outer intention, in a way, is the way that we see the world in the sense of the collective consciousness, how everything fits together. Now, inner intention, there's two types. There's inner intention and outer intention. Inner intention is the will to do or have something. It's more so the will to take action. This is like the solar plexus part of intention. And then it's like the Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm going to do, and then get the result. And it can be powerful. And I've gotten great results in life just from inner intention. However, the magic is in the outer intention. Outer intention is when you realize that it's more about the reality you want already exists right now. We think of it in the form of linear type mentality. Inner intention is linear. We're like, I'm here, I want to get here, I'm going to do this. So therefore, we set intentions and we go through it. That's one way of doing it. The outer intention is realizing that this whole line, this whole linear type reality of this, it all exists right now. So instead of me thinking about it like this, how about I just here right now? How about I just embody the motions? How about I just believe that it can be easy? In the same way that you want to attract this thing over here, maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're here, you want to get here to where there's a relationship. Realize that as much as you inner intention want to get here at the same time, that person wants to meet you, wants to move towards you. You see, when you realize that whatever you're seeking is also seeking you, it can totally transform your process. And that's something that I also share and show you exactly how to do in the Reality Transurfing Academy. It's how to make that something that's easy and natural for you. To see the process as much easier, to transform the way you see the whole process. And as you do that, you start to more so resonate with the experiences that you want. So this is about the inner intention, the outer intention, aligning with a higher way of going about manifesting what you want, and also seeing it as a natural part of the process for you to experience what you want. And that's why it's also important to understand, though, that it is about transcending these ideas of pendulums. Because if you think sometimes that, oh, I'm having my own goals even, many times we think we're having our own goals, when in reality, they're the goals of pendulums. Pendulums may be something like you have to go to college, you have to do this, you have to do that. There's a certain process for doing things. When if you have a determination for something, you can find ways around the conventional way of thinking. You start to create your own path. You know, even like someone like, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He did not be a mold of the pendulums of the way to go about becoming a movie star in the idea of Hollywood. Because how many people told him, they said, you cannot become a movie star, you're just too big, you're not the right physique, we want some like little person that is more so the sex symbol right now. Somebody like Robert De Niro at the time is what they told him. And he didn't care, he did not buy into that frame, and he created his own type of pendulum. He created his own mark for making his way. And as he did that, amazing things happened for him, and he became one of the biggest movie stars. So it's about understanding that and not being the mold of society, really creating your own way, feeling empowered to be who you prefer to be, and creating your outer intention by having a way for which you see the process and not being the victim of the pendulums themselves. So with that being said, I hope this video helps you to really wire in that of inner intention, outer intention, pure intention, letting go of all the excess meaning that you give things. If you guys want to go deeper with all of these ideas and really transform the way you see the whole manifestation process, like I said, the top of the description box, you'll see the Reality Transurfing Academy. You get live coaching from me. You'll get the ability to have step-by-step Reality Transurfing videos. You'll get the ability to have a mastermind around this, and at the same time, you'll get a whole bunch of additional courses and a whole bunch of additional benefits. So if that interests you, top of the description box below. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little notification gear so that you guys can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.